Welcome back to No Substitutes, the show where I have on some of my favorite people and we talk about what ingredients make them who they are. And today I have a very special guest. You may have seen her on the Black and Orange site, as well as all over social media because she has such a unique and just vibrant energy and look. She's a social media titan, it says right here. So please welcome Elly Clutch.
Thank you. A social media titan.
I know. I was
That's
like,
wild.
Good. Put that in your bio.
Social media titan.
Well, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. You were just in Europe, right?
I was,
Doing
yes.
the rounds.
I just got back. I was in Berlin
Mm-hmm.
for a convention there. And then I decided to extend my trip and go to Greece, which had been like a goal of mine to go. I'd never been, and it was amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
what part of Greece did you go to?
I was on Santorini,
Oh,
which I know is a pretty touristy place, but because it was in the fall,
yeah.
there wasn't as many people.
No.
And we saw some of the archaeological sites there, which was really cool. I really like history.
Yeah.
And then we went to Athens,
Perfect.
and
Wow.
I really liked Athens.
Yeah.
Everyone always tries to give me weird ideas about cities before I go there. I feel like they're like, oh, it's going to be this certain way. But I feel like if you go in with no expectations, you'll always be surprised.
Yeah. And the thing about traveling is you got to, perceive it and like experience it for yourself.
Exactly.
Anytime people try to give me a whole itinerary, I'm like, I appreciate it, but I'd rather like
Yeah.
figure this out on my own.
Exactly. Like, give me a recommendation.
Yeah.
One, and
If
then I'll
there's maybe some safety tips, that's about all I'll take from that. But
see.
but yeah, but you also didn't you win something in Berlin?
I did. I won Best International Shooting Star.
Oh my gosh.
So that's quite the title.
That's a fun title.
I was not expecting to win anything.
It's
So
almost as cool as social media titan.
Best International Shooting Star.
Shooting star. is
Social
what's
media
getting-
titan.
That's sending me right now. Shooting star. Because like all the titles we have here for like expos and avians, like performer.
Yeah. And that one's very
performer.
wordy, right?
Yeah, that
I'm
one's
like, I don't think I can put that in my bio. There's not enough characters.
Wow, I love Europe. I think, that's the only place I would go for some of the award shows.
I love it. It was definitely a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really glad and really grateful that I got to experience that.
Oh, yay. Well, what would you say are 3 ingredients you need to be successful in your profession?
I feel like the main one is adaptability.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now, so many things have changed. Even in the last 3 years that I've been active,
Mm-hmm.
things are constantly changing. We're always having to adapt and use new platforms, learn how to censor ourselves,
Mhm.
learn how to deal with the way that people in our career who have done our career are portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to navigate that and just constantly learning and constantly adapting. Creativity,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And also learning how to be fueled by the creativity as opposed to letting it drain you.
Right.
I think a lot of people feel very drained by this career that end up, because you think of the type of people that end up doing this job,
Mhm.
right? And it is like a specific type of person that is maybe a little bit extreme.
Mhm. I was saying yesterday, it's a lot of people with ADHD.
A lot.
But
Yeah.
I feel like that's why it works. Like some people are very successful in entertainment. I've even accidentally diagnosed my producer
Yep.
because of all his
Yeah.
tics.
We had a day where every single guest had ADD, and then everything they described was like, wait a second, that's what happens to me.
He's like, that's
Yep.
not normal.
Yeah, and then Lumi
I mean,
tells-
honestly, I feel
yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like ADHD, I mean, not to say that it's not real, but it's just like people that are just not going to be put in a box. It's
Mhm.
always the weird kids. Like I
Yeah.
was a weird kid. I
Yeah.
couldn't sit still.
I am diagnosed.
Yeah.
So.
So,
By
there you go.
professionals.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I not put in a box.
Yeah.
Don't like being limited.
Right.
Creative types for sure. And that's the thing too, is I worked traditional jobs before this one. And I always hated it.
Right.
And I feel like this has been the first time in my life that I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm kind of good at it, you know?
What did you start with, or what like led, opened that door?
A lot of different things. I always feel like it's like so many other people, it was the pandemic because that kind of put me in a pressure cooker
Uh-huh.
and made me really think about like, what do I want with my life? And because I lost both my jobs beforehand, I, was unemployed and lonely. And it was just my partner and I pretty much for like 2 years in a tiny apartment.
Oh.
And that really makes you just like reconsider what is it that I want? What do I want out of this life? And like, what am I afraid to do?
Mhm.
What's the thing that I've always wanted to do that I was too scared to do?
Okay.
And it kind of forced me to start that
love that.
because I was broke.
Mhm. I love that.
And then I'm trying to think my third thing that you need, third ingredient.
Third ingredient.
Maybe optimism.
Oh, I like that.
I feel like having kind of a hope for betterness in the future
Mhm.
is something that you have to have, because I also feel like because of the way that, we are viewed by the average person,
Mhm.
you just have to have hope that like there's good in the
Yeah.
world and that you're doing something positive for other people, whatever that is, or
Yeah.
you're helping people feel seen, or you're helping people feel a certain way.
Mhm.
You're helping people feel good.
Mhm.
And, you have the ability to express yourself, and just hope also that like SWs, can I say?
Yeah.
In hope that we will be seen more positively in the future, and that they'll be,
Mhm.
it'll open more doors.
Yeah.
and-
Like we gotta keep fighting the good fight.
yes.
Because-
And we have each other.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Exactly. What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far in your career?
In my career,
Mhm.
I've learned a lot. I feel like this career, if anything, it's made me just more open
Okay.
as a
good.
person.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm far more understanding. Not that I wasn't understanding before. I think in my head, I thought I was understanding.
Mhm.
I thought that I was open.
Right.
And having to talk to so many different people and having to, I guess, because of our jobs, we're kind of forced to, not forced, obviously it's a choice, but seeing people at their most vulnerable,
Yeah.
that really, really causes you to have to be open.
Yeah. I always talk about how when I started, it was probably the most human experience I had.
Yeah.
And I know like a lot of people associate with dehumanizing. And
Mhm.
every time I tell them, like, unless you've been on a set, I'm not going to like engage with
Yeah.
your opinions.
Yeah. You don't know.
You don't know, but
Mhm.
that it is. It's like the most vulnerable place.
Mhm.
And for me, like I started just with people I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting to actually one of them after you today, Isaiah Maxwell was one of the first people I shot with. We didn't know each other.
Mhm.
And very vulnerable and it's like all of a sudden you're doing this very intimate thing with
Yeah.
someone, but it's like they have that skill and know how to make you feel very comfortable and very safe.
Mhm.
So versus like any casual or random dating that I ever did.
Mhm.
So,
100%. I agree with that. And also like having to be so vulnerable
mhm.
and also it forces you also to be very comfortable with yourself.
Mhm.
Like before this job, I don't think I would have been so comfortable being ugly. And I don't mean that I think I'm ugly, but like you have to do things that are ugly.
Oh yeah, no. When you see like just skin rolled up or
Yeah, or like you're
makeup
folded into-
sheer.
Yeah, your eyelashes on your forehead and
Yeah.
you're folded into a pretzel. Like,
You're like, well, people
Spread.
still like it.
yeah, and people still like it. But and also just like being comfortable with seeing yourself like that and being
Mhm.
comfortable with other people seeing yourself like that forces you to be comfortable with yourself.
It's so freeing.
Yeah, it is.
It's so freeing.
I find it very liberating.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's going
different-
from like caring about social media even, and then it makes you almost like not care about that. Like you'll post pictures of like no makeup and just like
Yeah.
lounging around bed rotting, and then because you're like, well, there's way worse like videos and
People have
pictures
seen
of me
it
out
all.
there, and you guys paid for that, so
Yep, exactly.
I'm gonna be who I am.
Yep.
But yeah, crazy. Do you plan on ever going back to creating content outside of the adult entertainment industry, like Twitch, or maybe starting a podcast?
Potentially. I think I'm always open to creating.
Right.
I think that is like what it comes down to for me, is that I find a lot of joy in creating and like doing this job. It fuels me, you know, and trying to find different ways to like slip those creative elements into things that I make, doing things that are crazy and like unexpected. But yeah, I think whatever, I'm open to everything always.
Awesome. I love that.
Whatever fuels me at the moment.
I know, because you and your partner are both like, you produce your own stuff, you write your own stuff, edit your own stuff.
Yeah, we
it's
are
like
DIY.
Just two people. That's pretty much a whole production company.
Yeah.
So I have faith that you guys can really just.
Thank you.
You guys can probably even find funding for like your own films.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do like a short film or something. I don't know.
I think it's only up from here.
Yeah, literally.
To the moon.
Who are some people that have helped you grow?
I mean, I know it's cliche to say my partner, but we've been together 7 years, a long time, and we were together before this era. And I think, I don't know, being with someone who has high expectations of you, because he does we have high expectations of each other. And I think that really helps us grow together, because we're really able to have these open conversations that are so honest. And we have a lot of trust between, like, I trust him more than anyone in this world. And having that amount of trust and like knowing someone really sees you for who you are and is always expecting not more of you, like, oh, I'm disappointed, but like knowing that he really has these expectations of me that are like, I see you for who you are, and I want other people to see that as well. That really helps, I feel like, motivate me to be better. And yeah, I don't know. I'd never really had anybody challenge me like that in a good way.
Yeah. I feel like that's like I don't know, quality that people, I feel like, overlook a lot. And then, you know, they get settled or comfortable in certain things.
Yeah.
But so far, all the most successful relationships that I've been around, that's always seems to be the key quality. It's not like, you better work, bitch, but like,
you can do it.
Like it's encouragement. You both are always encouraging each other, pushing each other, and it's not just like one way or the other. So
yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't think I would ever want to be with somebody who was like, you know, because people are like, okay, it's nice, right, to be loved for exactly who you are. Like I can say I'm loved for exactly who I am, but I also know that I will be continued to be loved exactly as I am, as every version of myself.
Yeah.
Where it's like, as I am now, but I also know that like in 10 years, I'll be loved for that version of myself, and like constantly getting to know each other and constantly like, I've also never had anybody who like encouraged my creative hobbies that are weird. And having somebody who's like I'll be like, oh yeah, like recently I readopted sewing.
Oh,
which is like a very specific thing, right? I used to sew a lot when I was younger, and I was always pretty good at it. But being with someone who I'm like, yeah, I think I kind of want to like get into sewing. And he's like, okay, like let's pick out a sewing machine for you, like is giving me ideas for things to make. And is like creating space for me to do that and letting me do my thing and encouraging me to do my thing is really nice. Whereas I never feel like, oh, babe, you're making a mess.
Right. Or he's like, why?
Yeah, exactly. Like he never asks me why.
Right.
When I'm like,
he trusts you.
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
trusts that.
This makes sense.
This makes sense. Let her do her thing. Yeah.
I love that. He's the best.
He is. Love him.
I feel like he's become like the industry's like golden boy of
God.
of like what like everyone wants as like a partner. They're like,
Yeah.
like for a long time, we would always say like Cody Steele was the industry's boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I feel like yours is like right up there.
Yeah. And they're friends, so
Yeah,
they can be
exactly.
boyfriends together.
Boyfriends, exactly. What's the best meal someone has cooked for you? Actually, I'm going to ask another one too that I hope you'll answer. Oh, wait. I don't know if you can answer this within this, but
Yeah.
do you or your partner cook ever? Like, are you guys into
We
exploring
both,
that?
yeah, we both enjoy cooking in our home, but we also recently, I feel like now we've been enjoying different dining experience more than we had in the past.
Mhm.
And that's not because we weren't into food or anything, but I think one of the parts of this job is now it kind of gives us more freedom to be able to be like, oh, I want to go have this crazy
yeah.
dining experience, and
Yeah.
being able to like afford that
Mhm.
has been amazing. The craziest dining experience I've ever had, which I don't know if it was crazy, but
Eccentric.
for me it was my first like coursed out meal that I ever
Okay.
went to, and it was in Barcelona, Spain.
Oh.
And it was the meal we went to the day we got engaged.
Oh.
And it was this coursed out meal, but one of the courses was a helium balloon.
Like
Just kidding.
whippets?
Yeah. So just imagine. So this is like a
Barcelona gets down.
a 3-star Michelin restaurant, like bougie. Okay. So the
Right.
people that are in this place are wearing designer. They're
Right.
very serious, right?
Right.
Everyone in this restaurant is very serious. And then the server brings in helium balloons to everybody. And it was crazy because they said for this meal, or for this part of the
Yeah.
dining experience, we want to bring you laughter.
Oh, okay.
And they had us all take this helium
I'm
balloon.
down.
And then you have this room of people who are very, very serious, right? All talking in like high-pitched voices,
Oh my
cracking
God.
up. And it completely changed the tone of the room.
Oh my God.
It was crazy because before then it's kind of like this uppity, right, very
Everyone's all
proper. And then
snobby.
everyone is just dying laughing.
Oh my God.
And it was probably like the most wholesome. I don't know. It like brought the whole room together, and it completely changed the mood for the whole rest of the meal. I've never experienced anything like that before.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to get the name of
It's
this
called
restaurant.
ABOC.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
going to have to go next.
Oh, you need to go.
That
You need to
sounds
go. It
so
was
fun.
incredible.
It also sounds like that's how they got their 3 stars. They just
Right. There's
gave
just
everyone drugs.
the restaurant.
Yeah,
the
they're like, we're
restaurant
drugging you
reviewer,
all.
they're like, here.
Yeah.
Slipped a little Molly in their drinks.
Is this legal? Maybe it's legal in
Yeah.
Barcelona. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. I could see that.
Mhm.
I feel like in
Yeah.
Europe, it's more like chill to
Just, slipping someone meth. For this experience, we want you to be awake for 7 days straight.
Oh my God. Oh
No,
my
if you're on
God.
meth, you definitely know how to put it back together.
Well, so would you say that was the best dining experience or just the most crazy?
Just the most crazy. I feel like
Okay.
even, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like meals people have cooked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes Jack does. But I feel like it's always pretty normal just with my cats.
Right.
Just in the evening,
Mhm.
spending time together, talking. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Evening routines.
Yeah.
Ooh, if you could live in a video game, which one would it be and why?
If I could live in a video game. Oh, Skyrim.
Oh.
For sure. That's so easy. It would be Skyrim for sure.
Mhm.
I feel like so many people say Skyrim, but you're forgetting about how like every 30 minutes a dragon is attacking you. So
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna
I would
be-
have powers.
Okay, all right.
She could
I
pull a
get it.
Daenerys and just become its mother.
I
Yeah.
could.
I always forget about that part because I think of who I am being in the video game and I'm just dead. Like some rat's gonna kill me.
Well, you have multiple lives.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay,
You can-
I never think about that part.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Skyrim then.
Yeah,
That's
if
a
we're
good
in that
one.
reality,
Yeah.
I'm goaded.
Ooh, you mentioned wanting to do time travel scene with your partner. Which era would you like to go to and why?
We have some ideas.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I don't know. I love putting like insane concepts in my videos. That's something that like
That's your guys' thing, though.
yeah. But I love the idea that someone's like taking off. right?
Uh-huh.
And they click on this video. It's like hot girl,
Right.
thumbnail, hot title. And they're jacking off. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, there's like, I don't know, like a time travel sequence like that. And then they're like, what? And then they're really confused for like 30 seconds. And then they never forget that FAP session.
That's insane.
And then they will remember you forever.
or it can be like dude's off, but it's to like 80s. And then he like in his brain goes in and it's like you and Jack are like, it's 80s themed and you guys are having sex. And, like, and then it ends with just him blowing the load.
We did one that was 80s for last. We did like an 80s thriller last Halloween.
Ooh.
And we filmed it on a camcorder.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
I look insane in it. Like that. I went full crazy girlfriend, crazy
Wow.
eyes. It was really fun.
It would be pretty funny if you were going like in a time travel one where you're going to like different ages in the video and then ending on like a post-apocalyptic world. Like you go too far in the future and the world's gone and
Yeah.
you're just like surviving in this.
It's just like
Yeah.
a zoomed out on the
Yeah.
world. And
Yeah.
people are like, that was like the most existential nut of my life. Like put everyone into full-blown spiral.
Yeah, but they'll never forget about it.
True.
Yeah.
It's just like tumbleweeds and it says like 2050.
Yeah.
2050.
We aren't far.
Yeah.
Oh, man. In college, you mentioned you got boxes of food weekly from your campus,
Did.
as a normal struggling college student would.
Yes.
With your love for cooking new recipes, what was your favorite meal you made using their ingredients?
I got so scrappy.
Really?
I will say when it comes to cooking and when it comes to like fridge scrounging,
yeah.
I am so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can make, if I have like the average person's fridge, people are like, anyone would tell me I have nothing to eat. And I'm like, yes, you do. You're just not trying hard enough.
Right. You just
Like,
gotta get creative.
You just have to get creative. I am really good at that. I'm trying to think of like some stuff. I always did crazy stuff, but it always ended up turning out really good.
Yeah.
Even just doing like, you can take anything in a fridge, I think, and make a bowl.
Right.
Like if you have like a grain,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a vegetable,
Mm-hmm.
if you have like anything pickled,
Ooh, love. Yeah.
if you have dressing,
Mm-hmm.
you can make like any sort of like harvest bowl,
Right.
right? If you have canned tuna,
Mm-hmm.
canned chicken, which is gross at first, but then if you grill it with some seasoning, not bad anymore.
Save some money.
Yeah, save some money. I mean, back then I
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't making no money.
Nowadays it's farm raised chickens only. She's in the big leagues now.
I made it, guys.
Do you still eat your food in bowl form?
Oh, I do all the time
Okay,
still. I feel
all
like those kind of habits that you create when you're broke, you carry
Mhm.
with you forever.
Oh yeah.
I really believe that. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like those make you who you are.
Okay, you're my favorite guest now because I almost exclusively eat my food in bowl form.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I get a lot of crap for that.
No,
I
don't.
just like dump it in a bowl and then like, all right, here's
And
my
then
food.
I'll like section it out, but then I always end up just
Yeah.
mixing it
Yeah.
up.
yeah,
It all ends up in the same place.
Exactly.
yeah, true.
Yeah. No, I feel like I love teaching myself new recipes and doing the whole shebang, and I'll make it, all artsy. But
Mhm.
sometimes my favorite recipes are the ones I just make up.
Mhm.
Like I'm like, okay, we've got some sriracha,
Yep.
toast,
Yeah.
eggs, like
Yeah.
beans.
hmm Frozen fish
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, I actually do. I have some salmon in my freezer right now that I'm like, I need to figure out some dishes this week.
Yeah.
So, but
All you need is like a air fryer and some
Right.
hope.
mhm.
You'll be fine.
I just do cast iron now.
Ooh,
love a
you're a
cast
cast
iron.
iron girl.
Mhm. I grew up with a very hippie mom, so she only cooked with cast irons because she told me that there was what's it called
BHAs.
in the nonstick pans.
Cast iron skillet, right? Or
You don't chime in.
Okay,
You don't
sorry.
know. You don't know. You eat in
sorry.
bowls.
You eat in bowls.
But I can't think of the thing right now. But
Is it BHAs? It's like
Something
the
like
yeah,
that.
like the
It's some-
chemicals in it is bad for you.
But I'm like, every restaurant I worked in we use nonstick pans. So yeah. No one's
Poisoning the people.
No one sued any of the restaurants I worked in. So we'll see. Are there any awards in any of the fields you work in that you are currently striving for?
No.
Yeah.
I feel like awards have never been my goal. It's always like
Right.
nice because so much of what I do is so online. Like because I make my content myself, whether that's, with another amateur person or someone who makes, who does pro but then makes content on the side, or with my partner or with whoever, because I'm not on a set and I just create this thing and then put it online, right? For people to buy, or a shortened version for people to watch for free or whatever. So much of my stuff does not feel like it. That doesn't feel real, right? It's just like you're watching like numbers and you're like, I think people like me. Like I don't have a concept really, I guess, for like how many people know me or like how good I am.
Right. Yeah. In the mainstream industry, agents or production companies are constantly being like, you're going to have to do this, this, and this to get Performer of the Year. You're going to have to shoot with this company because this. But I specifically am like, so in awe of you and admire you and for what you have done and brought to the industry, because you're an independent content creator.
Thank you.
And you've like made a lot of waves and you have won a lot of awards. And
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I don't know. I'm like, I feel like you're giving either people that are just starting out, you're giving them like more optimism and seeing like, oh, there's not just this way. You can still get recognition as long as you there's a quote, it's like make your decisions based on what you're committed to, which is if your craft, and that's, you see that in a lot of your stuff. So.
I think thank you. I think a lot of people really, they run on affirmation. Like they need somebody to tell them what to do, or they need someone to tell them they're doing a good job.
Right.
And that's the hard part about being an independent performer, is you don't have anybody telling you you're doing a good job. Right. I guess it would be the fans.
Right.
But it's like you're having sex online. Like they're going to like it no matter what.
Right.
Right. And so I guess that's the nice part about winning an award, is you're like, oh, I feel acknowledged in my field, doing things how I want to do them. Right. And that's difficult. It's kind of like, oh, like maybe I'm taken seriously. Maybe people are looking at what I do and they think it's good. So that's nice, because I don't have anybody being like, nice job, Elly.
Just you and Jak. Just
it's just
good job.
Us hyping each other up.
High-fiving after every session.
That's it. So that's the nice part about it. But yeah, I don't strive to win awards. I strive, I guess, to help other people know that they can make their own rules.
Yeah, I definitely.
And they don't have to play the game.
I think you're very successful in that.
Thank you.
So for any couples or gals or guys and gays and all the peeps that are starting out, this is the girl I'd be watching.
You can do things. You can do things how you want to do them, I promise.
Well, back to food.
Yeah.
What are some unpopular food opinions you have?
Ooh, I feel like I have a lot.
Oh, good. Let's just rip into them.
Well, first of all, I like pickled anything. Anything.
That's delicious, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe not like meat items or eggs or anything like that.
I don't think you would survive if you ate
pickled
fermented meat. I don't even know what that would become. I think it would come back to life.
I feel like
kombucha.
like kombucha.
Like the meat starts mooing at you.
Yeah,
like
it would.
Your steaks.
I like pickled anything, like onions, anything pickled.
You said not eggs though, right?
Not eggs.
Yeah, because I was about to.
That's like a delicacy.
People do that. Yeah. So what is? I think also pickled pig's feet. People do that?
Yeah, I wouldn't eat a pickled animal product.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
What do you think is the most unusual pickled item you've eaten?
I don't know. I feel like I've eaten some weird, maybe like any obscure vegetable, like okra. Or like, I don't know.
Okra is like hot now. It's very interesting.
People are into okra right now.
Yeah. Okra's
having a comeback.
Yeah. Okra's having a moment right now in the restaurant world.
I'm trying to think of like other unpopular. Right. Oh, I don't eat pork. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. I grew up vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
So that's weird. So I feel like I had to like slowly introduce meat into my diet, but I could never get on the pork train.
When did you start? Like, when did you realize that you wanted to start eating meat? And then how did you start? Did you start with like chicken or fish?
I feel like fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would dabble in fish a little bit growing up. That was like the one that I was like kind of okay with. I love fish.
Oh yeah.
And I love sushi.
Mm.
I've even gotten adventurous and tried like raw like beef.
Oh yeah.
I know that's a thing that's a lot of people won't do, but I'll try it.
Some
mean like-
carpaccio or like wagyu?
I was
Both.
thinking like in tartar form.
Oh, I like
or-
tartar.
I like tartar. But still, there's like a thing in my head where I'm like, I feel a little wrong.
That's
It feels a little
yeah.
disrespectful when
There's-
for some reason
It
with
feels
steak.
very like medieval. Like you're like, oh, this straight up, they just killed this, and now I'm eating it. We're not. Even
And now I'm
gonna-
in Skyrim.
Yeah, now I'm in Skyrim.
Eating raw meat is like weirdly popular on social media right now. I think the Liver King guy popularized it,
Yeah.
and now everyone is just biting into raw steak. And
That is a thing with like foreign countries though. Like
I
I
can see
ate
that.
raw meat in Japan.
Oh yeah.
And when I was
did
in,
that.
yeah. And that was just like normal. I just ordered meat off the menu and they just brought it to me uncooked. And I was like, I guess I'm eating this.
I trust the Japanese though. I trust their raw meat.
Me too. Me too. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
They're miles ahead society wise. So
and like when did you go?
I went this last March for the first time.
Okay, so I went in May,
Mhm.
I think. So the yen dropped. So all the like A5 at restaurants was like very nice, very happy,
Affordable.
Yeah, affordable.
It was
So-
low when I went too. I was
Yeah.
like shocked. I need to go back.
I know. It's what time of the year would you want to visit?
Well, this last time I went was I went to ski actually. So I spent a couple days
so
in
it was
Tokyo.
still kind of like snowy.
Yeah, and then I went to Niseko.
Mm.
And that was like also a life goal of mine. I really wanted to ski in Japan
Mm-hmm.
because everyone talks about the Japow, the powder there.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, I really want to go
Japow.
to Japow. And so I was like, oh, I have to like try it, right? And
Uh-huh.
so it was amazing. It was incredible. It was magical.
hmm
Loved it. But I feel like I would want to experience it again. Like I want to experience, of course, like Tokyo in spring. Like,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
everyone want to go to Tokyo in spring?
Yeah,
Like
the
full-fledged cherry
blossoms.
blossom, better weather.
Yeah,
Because when I went, it was a little dreary.
right.
Still incredible though.
It was like back and forth in May. It
Mhm.
was like sunny, but still, I don't know. I don't know if Japan ever gets that hot. Maybe in some
Isn't it
parts.
humid?
Maybe, yeah. I think maybe it's like kind of like the East Coast weather. Maybe
They have a lot of biodiversity.
hmm
it
So where all in Japan did you go?
was Tokyo and just in Niseko.
okay.
Yeah, those two
What
places.
spots do you want to go to if you go?
I want to
again?
do like the whole temple
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
and I want to do like a traditional tea.
Oh.
I want to do all of that. I really
Stay in an
love.
onsen.
Yeah, I really enjoy, like, that's my favorite part about traveling, and I'm sure you can relate to this.
Mhm.
I love it. Something about being in a place for the first time. It like gives me this like I feel alive
Mhm.
because you feel like a baby.
Yeah,
Where it's like being in a place where you like don't know what you're doing, don't know
It's-
where you're going.
it's also like almost experiencing like a first date with someone who you really like. You have these butterflies
that.
and you have these like fantasies of what could be like.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you just keep exploring. And it's even better than what you romanticized.
Mhm.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
It's a great way of putting it.
I love it.
Mhm.
I will give you this though. If you guys do onsens, make sure you find ones that are okay with tattoos because they didn't let me in some onsens
That's
in Kyoto.
wild.
Kyoto's like their ancient city
Mhm.
though. So I was like,
I
and I
don't-
was also like, I get it. Like,
Mhm.
don't want to offend the elders.
The elders.
But I think, I don't know. Do you have tattoos?
I have no tattoos.
Okay, but
Jack
Jack
has,
does.
has
Yeah.
tattoos.
I'm pretty sure Tokyo has some though that are like tattoo friendly. So
Mhm.
just if you want to
Be
do some
wary.
like traditional onsen, go
It's
to
good to
like
know.
one that. Make sure you look on TikTok or
That's
Instagram. and be
wild
like
to me.
Which ones are tattoo friendly?
That's wild.
It's wild, but part of me was also like, almost like kind of liked it because I was like, because they associate tattoos with the what? Yeah,
Yeah.
the gangsters.
Oh, so you're like, I feel cool.
Yeah, they're like, I was like, oh man, if I lived here, I could like get so much like,
You're like, I get street cred.
yeah, so much street cred because they think I'm just But so yeah, but onsens are beautiful and do the kimonos and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Japan has been number 2 so far for me for favorite country.
What's number 1?
I get hate for it, but Paris.
I love Paris.
But
I don't know why people
so
would.
many people are always like, it's so overrated. I'm like, again, like the thing I had about Paris,
Mhm.
I had that first date feeling like for years before I went.
Mhm.
Like always have fantasies and just picturing myself there. And then I went and it was better than I ever experienced it. And
Mhm.
every time I go, I just feel like I'm supposed to be there.
Mhm.
It feels easy for me to
Exist
go sit
there.
and just exist, go in cafes
Mhm.
by myself, read by myself.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like you can be by yourself in Paris because you're dating Paris almost.
Yeah,
Paris is your love interest
That's
in
one
the
of-
story.
one of the places I was referencing is because people always love to. People are like, "Oh, you're going to be disappointed."
Right.
People told me that about Paris, and I went and I was absolutely not disappointed.
Mhm.
My opinion on that is, my guess is people that go to these large cities and are disappointed are people that don't typically go to large cities.
That
They've got to be like
or-
suburbia, like
yeah.
from Ohio
Yeah.
or something like that. And then they're like, I was disappointed. I'm like, have you never been to a large city? Because
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, there was dirt on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Or they're like, the French were mean. I'm like, no, the French have never been rude to me. The
Mm-mm.
French keep to themselves.
Yeah.
But same in Japan. And I
But-
love that.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to be spoken to. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or like, there's rats. And I'm like, have you been to any large city ever?
Literally. Yeah.
There will be rats.
There's going to be rats.
have you
We
guys-
can coexist.
Have you guys heard of Paris syndrome that happens in Japan?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a Japanese thing.
Yeah,
that's funny.
they so like Paris is like a really big destination that a lot of Japanese people want to go to, and then when they go to Paris, they like break down because it's so dirty and it's not what they expected in their head.
It's
That's
always
probably
so
because Japan's so
funny.
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japan's so
So they're like, oh.
yeah. It's always very sad, but a lot of Japanese and Koreans love San Francisco. And I'm like,
That's the dirtiest.
yeah, I'm like,
That's the dirtiest
when
one.
did you go?
Oh,
And then a lot of them, they're like, oh, I haven't been since the 80s. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh. I feel like San Francisco is just
Yeah,
pee.
I've been.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, ever since the pandemic, it looks like, that's why I moved to the outside of the bridge, but over the bridge. Sorry, dumb and dumber reference.
It's okay. I've been to Paris twice,
Uh-huh.
and the second they found out we spoke Spanish, they were so nice to us.
Really?
They're
Yeah.
like, you speak another language?
Yeah, because
You're bilingual?
Yeah, my dad. My stepdad introduced traveling to my mom and I. So he
Aw.
made it a point that like we need to go to like all these different countries and get cultured. And
Fair.
and the rule was that we had to like
stepdad.
we had to try and learn how to speak the language of the place that we were going. And for whatever reason, we just kind of struggled with French, and it looked like it ticked those people off that we were trying to.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Do you speak Spanish?" And then they were so nice to us when
I'm surprised. I
Spanish.
feel like, I don't know, Spanish, because I was talking about this with Leo and Lulu, because
Yeah.
they know French.
Mm-hmm.
She knows German,
Mhm.
French, and then they were saying if you know Spanish, or I think they were saying if you know French, that it can translate really
Yeah.
easily to Spanish, but I think not the other way.
Well, no, it
Or did it?
No, it most if you know Spanish, it's really easy to learn.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, my mom and I just struggled with it,
Oh,
so we were like the odd ones out. Yeah.
it's okay. What are some hobbies you have outside of work?
Sewing.
Sewing.
So many things. I like to ski,
Mm-hmm.
but
Okay.
I also like I love like ski culture. If that makes sense, like après ski. Think of like ski.
Ah.
You know, like you go to the lodge and you have
I
a little
love that.
pancake.
Oh my gosh.
And you go out and hit the slopes. I'm not good.
Oh, okay.
I'm not good at skiing. I'm very
it makes
average.
me feel a lot better.
But I
because
don't really do things to be good at them.
No,
I feel like a
that's
lot
how
of
I do like with surfing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a surfer.
Mhm. I wouldn't consider myself. I'm on the board.
Yeah. Like I did it. I went outside.
I would argue that all you have to do is like do the thing, and then
Yeah.
like
and if you
you're
enjoy
a surfer.
it, and if you enjoy it,
I think too many
anything you
people
enjoy.
are afraid to do things because they're like worried they won't be good at them. I think that I feel like that's like the fear that holds people back. They're like, oh, I don't want to look stupid. But I guess now once you do, you're never worried about looking stupid ever again.
No.
The fear is gone.
No.
I don't know. I feel like I love just trying things.
Yeah.
I don't do things to be good at them.
What's the most recent thing that you've tried that you haven't ever tried?
That I haven't ever tried. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what I was doing in. I feel like I was Greece. I don't know. I don't know. I'm. That's a good question, and I genuinely have no idea. I'm genuinely like
stunned.
I'm like, I guess like with sewing, like trying new things with that.
Okay.
Because you're like, I recently, because I made a plushie, and I had never made a plushie before. I had made like very basic things like a tote bag, you know?
Yeah.
And then actually making something that's like physical and like large and like cuddly. That was the first time I had ever done anything like that.
Is it for you or for your cats?
Both.
Okay.
We share.
We share. Love that. What's the most important thing to you right now?
Enjoying the fruits of my labor.
Ooh.
And not feeling, a lot of times with jobs like ours, you feel like you're running a race with no finish line.
Yeah.
And I've realized, like, what's the point of working so hard if you never enjoy it?
Yeah.
And a lot of us do this job because we want freedom, but then we never feel free from it, right? It feels like you're like trapped in this constant rat race of like, oh, I have to like keep going, or I'm going to lose momentum. I'm going to lose something.
Yeah.
But I'm trying really hard to balance that.
Good.
Yeah.
More people definitely need to.
Yeah. I bought a farm recently.
You bought a farm?
I bought a farm, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's definitely a fruit of labor.
So Jak and I we're renovating it.
Oh.
So I'm going to spend the whole month of December there and work on renovating it. So I'm really excited.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can eat your own meat.
I've never taken a full month off of work.
Really?
Ever. In my life.
Damn.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm supposed to after today, but we'll see. We'll see. Probably not. Same with you.
I wish you both luck.
I know. What is something you feel you are deserving of?
I'm deserving of? I don't know. Love?
It's a good answer. We've had that answer before, but sometimes it like comes off really sad, and then sometimes it's just more like matter of fact, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's deserving of love.
Not everyone.
Not everyone, actually.
Take that back.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I deserving? I don't know what I'm deserving of. The space to grow.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
And improve. And learn. What are you deserving of?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I feel like I've given myself everything I wanted so far. I feel like I'm deserving of understanding. I feel like I've spent a lot of my life being anxious and not making decisions for myself because I was afraid to not be understood and hurt people's feelings. But I feel like I'm starting to shift into just who I am and just being like, I don't have the energy for this or for you or for just kind of, I feel like I'm deserving of feeling okay with that. Like being understood that I am who I am and hopefully accepted by the people closest to me. So.
Yeah, I think that one's perfect for you. I think what immediately popped in my head for you was acceptance, but I think that yours is like being understood is a little bit better than that. And it kind of also encapsulates acceptance.
Yeah. Because again, I feel like when anyone who's done sex work, it's like we are, well, hopefully everyone's doing it for themselves. Like they've chosen this path for themselves. with the notion of knowing like we're not always going to be accepted into certain spaces or by certain people. And we accept that. We accept that that's part of the deal.
Yep.
So
we signed up for it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the most important thing is accepting yourself.
Yep.
And accepting not being accepted.
Yep.
But I think I can live with not being accepted into certain spaces, but especially as a sex worker, what I always would love though is to be understood as just who I am. When I'm being authentic, like that's the best.
Sometimes being understood is better than being loved.
Yeah. You know, like what you were saying about Jak, like when you're with someone who really sees you. Yeah. That's like, there's nothing like that. So I think we have some fan questions.
Yes.
Or producer
we have,
questions.
We have a handful of producer questions.
Let's go.
Yeah. So this first question, I was curious, how did you convince your partner to go along this wonderful journey of yours?
Well, I never had to convince him. I told him, I mean, it was like around the time I streamed on Twitch. That was my start. A lot of people don't know. My last name is Clutch. And I thought coming in clutch was funny.
Love that.
It was like an inside joke with myself. And I was like, oh, it's funny because I get cummed in. And that's what I did. I was a streamer on Twitch. And then people were asking me for my OnlyFans all the time. And I didn't have one. I was like, no. And then eventually I was like, I am way too broke to be saying no to this. And I kind of was like, what is my issue with it in my head? And I was like, oh, I think it's because, you know, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it when I'm there. You don't. You really don't know. You really don't know how you're going to feel about it until you're there.
When I got asked to shoot my first scene, I didn't tell anyone that I was like going to Arizona and doing this thing because I was like, I really need to feel and experience this for myself without any outside opinions or like anything like stopping me from it, but also encouraging me to do it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I want to show up on set. I want to see how I feel, do the deed or not do the deed. And yeah, I think it's very important to, but same thing, like being asked to do that, you're like, at first you're like, no. You're like, wait, why? Like, what are my issues?
Yeah. What are my
there,
own
like,
inhibitions?
I'm secure about, or am I just basing this off of what everyone else thinks about this kind of job?
And I think because like it is that thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to be put in a box. And I was like, I'm not just a sexy woman. I'm also funny and smart and like all these other things. And I didn't like that. But then also it's just kind of like, I don't know, that's not my problem.
Right.
It's not my problem if other people don't see me as multifaceted. Like that has nothing to do with me.
No.
And that is also like, isn't that like the woman's battle, right? No matter what you do in life, people will sexualize you.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, I might as well fucking own it.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel like sex work has given women the power back because we're like, okay, well, we're going to monetize on that. Yeah. You guys want to think of us as just a piece of ass? Cool.
Guess what? I'm a piece of ass that time travels. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I was like, hey, I feel like maybe I was like, I should do like a Patreon or something. And he was like, no, just do OnlyFans for the name and only do what you're comfortable with. Right. And whatever I chose to do, he was always just like, okay, you're ready for the next step. And then I did it by myself for about a year. And then I asked him, I was like, hey, can I use your penis?
Nice.
And he was like, yeah. Sure. Why not?
Why not?
I'm a confident man.
Yeah.
And then, then we started doing boy, girl, girls.
Ooh.
And and then it was women worked with both of us. And then they would ask him like, hey, would you be down to do a scene with just me? And he was kind of like, I mean, maybe I could do that. Right. And I was like, hey, you should consider doing that. Right. Because I feel like you're really smart. You're really good with people. Yeah. Women love you. Yeah. And you're really creative. And so it's like, if we're both able to do this separately, we can double our money. And then it's also great because it's like him having his thing and me having my own thing. Right. And then us having a thing together. It kind of takes the pressure off of
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't feel like I'm like, oh, it's just my face.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also like, I feel like having things independently of each other when you're in a relationship is really healthy.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But yeah, I never had to convince him.
Let's see. You got proposed to at a 5-star restaurant in Barcelona. What was more stunning, your ring or the food?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I didn't actually get proposed to. I got proposed to at a place beforehand.
Oh.
Yeah, like at a park.
Not my
Aw.
fault.
But I should talk about my ring.
Ooh, I haven't seen it.
My best friend made it.
Aw.
My college best friend, she ended up going to jewelry design school.
Oh.
And I told Jak, I said, I don't really care what about the ring. As long as my best friend makes it, she'll know what I like.
Oh.
So she made it. And that's the best part of it because they like designed it together.
Oh.
Behind my
gonna
back.
make
How
me-
dare they?
It's gonna make me tear up.
And I get to look at it and think like, yeah,
About
two
both
people
your
who love me
people.
very
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
That
For me.
that seems like the best way to do it is that
Yeah.
you're designing the ring for the person instead of
It's
just
Actually
buying
a
one.
lot less expensive than people think it is.
I-
If you find
I
like an
bet,
independent
yeah.
jewelry designer
Yeah.
and actually contact them because a lot of them are going to be able to get things at less of a markup. And then you have something that's just for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that.
It's pretty good.
All right. Well, speaking of engagement, have you given any thoughts to your perfect wedding?
Yeah. Yeah. We've been engaged now like almost, a year and a half.
Mhm.
And people keep asking when we're going to get married. And I'm like, well, I'm a little busy. I bought a house instead. So I guess that's okay, right? I was
Right,
like,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's
Right priorities.
better investment, you know?
But I have, and I think I just want it to be small.
Yeah.
I think I just want like a small wedding with not very many people.
Mhm.
And I just want it to be a party.
Love.
And I just want to party with my people.
What about location?
I've
that?
thought about it. We think we might get married on my farm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great. I think for some reason long engagements get a bad rap, but I think it's like once you get proposed to, you're basically married.
That's
Right.
what I
Nothing's
feel
gonna
like.
change.
Yeah, it's
And like
just
we've
really,
lived together now
Yeah.
for like 7
Yeah.
years. We own 2 houses
Yeah.
together. Like
I have friends that just got engaged right now. And that when I was talking to her, I was asking her about the wedding, and she's great at planning stuff.
Mhm.
She was like, it'll be like 2 years. Because she's like, I want a destination wedding,
hmm
Italy or France. And like, she wants very specific things. So she's like,
Yeah.
we're going to just do this. And
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
together. Once you've like been together for so long too, it's like, what's the rush?
I think there's also go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's basically just a party. The party
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're married,
Right.
You know, you're basically married. You already made the decision to spend the rest of your life with that person,
Right.
So I don't think there's a
I
big
said
deal.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is also, I feel like there's like wedding people
Right.
and like who dream of their wedding their whole life. I did
God,
not.
no.
Everyone I knew had a fucking wedding Pinterest board.
no.
And I did not. I never did.
No.
And so, yeah, I was like, I don't run that way. And I'm also like, the idea of like everyone paying that much attention to just me on that one day,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's too much pressure.
I
Yeah.
almost would like to just do the ceremony part with just my partner, or like email elope and then like go
Mhm.
have a, what's it called?
A ceremony.
Yeah,
Hello?
reception.
Oh, reception.
Yeah.
I'm
No, the ceremony would just be us with
Mhm.
like, we sign the papers, do the thing, and then
yeah. I've
we
striked
walk
out.
in and we're like, we did it.
Let's boogie.
Yeah.
I've striked out with every time you've asked me a question. This episode has just been the wrong answer.
Sorry.
No, it's my fault. Yeah. I one of my serious relationships I was in, we slightly talked about getting married. It wasn't like serious talks. She was just like, if we're dating long term out in like 3 to 4 years, that's where I wanted to go. And she was a very big wedding person.
Oh, shit.
And I always used to like tease her. I was like, well, I want like a Harry Potter themed wedding. So, and it's my special day.
It's my special
So,
day.
If you're not on board with that, I don't know.
You're like, you might not get a ring.
Yeah. But yeah, it is kind of funny.
You
like,
give me
yeah.
a golden snitch, and I give you a snatch.
Yep.
Golden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Golden snatch. You're not getting the golden
There's
snatch till
someone-
after the
someone
Harry
needs-
Potter themed wedding.
someone needs to make a Harry Potter porno now called the
Okay.
Golden Snatch.
What
They
I'll-
do- okay.
Yeah, I'll edit this part
That's
out, and then
next
you and Jack can have the
That-
Harry Potter.
Perfect.
There we
Thank you.
So no one steals
I'll
it.
have you sign that over.
Okay.
Get the NDA.
Mhm.
One last one. Rumor has it that you want to start a show with your partner. With Bad Friends being one of your favorite podcasts, do you have a style or concept you want to mold it after?
We've thought. I do love Bad Friends.
He's your guy.
Yeah,
He works with Bobby.
I was on Steve's podcast
Oh,
Yeah, I
a
did.
long
see
time
that.
ago. Yeah.
He's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be Steve's producer too.
Oh
That was
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Now it's just in his
Yeah.
apartment.
Well, it's
Mhm.
always just been in his apartment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But as far as shows, I feel like I don't know about doing a podcast. I feel like I would want there to be some sort of other element to it. Do you know
Like,
Brittany Broski's her show,
I don't know.
The Royal Court?
Uh-uh.
It's okay. I feel like that is such a good example of like
Okay.
doing something that's like in a podcast form, I guess.
Right.
But there's like other interactive elements
Okay.
where she's like, she'll have you make your sigil and she'll knight you. And
Oh, that's
it's
cute.
so funny.
It's so fun.
I love her. So I feel like that's a good example. I would want to do something like interactive.
That can be fun.
Yeah.
Especially like YouTube. Like if you guys, open that for another stream of income.
Mm-hmm.
Because can be really fun. And you guys already have all the production stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely, when I do like consulting, I
Mhm.
always tell people like you kind of have to have some form of a niche
Yeah. A
because
theme.
yeah, the What I Did This Week podcast are dying out.
Yeah.
And like the only ones that can survive are the ones that have just been doing it for years.
Mhm.
So you have to like come like that's why with this show it's like kind of food themed.
Yep.
You got to have something to draw them in.
Exactly.
I didn't even come up with the concept. He did.
Yeah. Well, I gave a blueprint and then you and I built it together.
Yeah.
So I
Aw.
wasn't like totally by myself. I came
That's
to her.
true.
I was like, hey, I have this idea for you. Here's like the outline.
Mhm.
And then her and I built it together.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
Hit you up.
Or consultants. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy you came by.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Yay. Well, where can the fans find you?
My website is Elly Clutch. That's ELLYCLUTCH.VIP. That's my website. I'm Elly Clutch everywhere, except for my Instagram is with 2 H's because my first one got banned.
There you go. I always tell, especially like adult entertainment people, I'm like, make sure you actually give them your like real social media because there's so many fake ones. Like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh. There's a
people make.
million. A
It's so
million of
weird.
me.
It's so weird.
I'm like, that's not me. Why'd you give them $1,000? Not me $1,000. You should have given me $1,000.
Yeah. But you guys know. I think you guys are smart enough. You are smart enough at this point. You know
Mhm.
when it's us. So
Google me.
yeah. Or just go to her website.
Yeah.
Find
Ellyclutch.vip.
everything
It's all there.
And I'm Lumi Ray, and thank you guys for tuning in.